Beloved Pathfinders, welcome. Always excited to connect with you through this medium. I'm very excited to be back today because today I'm going to be sharing a topic I find very, I'm passionate about. Why? Because I've lost a lot of money because I did not understand this earlier in my business journey. So I want to ensure that you avoid the same mistake. What is the mistake? I have finished product development. I've spent a lot of money, even, creating a large, quantity of the product in the market before I got the first feedback from the market that they don't want my product. And that was a very painful thing because I thought that I was bringing a product to the market that the market wants, not knowing that I don't have a product that the market wants. So today we're going to look at how innovators, how they develop a customer base while trying to build and test their value proposition and business model. That's what we're going to be looking at today. I call it the customer development process, the process of developing a customer base while trying to develop your product and test your product, develop your business model and test your business model. In the past videos, we have established that your product idea is not the same thing as your business idea. We also went ahead to establish that your value proposition is not the same thing as your business idea because you can have a great product without having a business. Your business model is more or less your business idea. Identify how you create your value, how you deliver your value to the marketplace, and how you capture value from the marketplace on a consistent basis, and that's what we call your business idea. Okay, so we looked at how innovators, develop, innovative products that disrupt the market. So between when you are developing your product and when you launch your product in the marketplace, we want to establish when you test and launch the product, how you can build a large database of customers that when you launch your product, oftentimes you even have large orders even before you produce the large quantity of your product. How will you feel if you have order for your product even before production? And that's what we're going to be looking at here today. Okay? So this is where I prefer experimentation, structured experimentation for new ventures, and startup as against coming up with a business plan. Some people believe in business planning, but the error, that I see and the mistake I see in business planning is the attitude that the information about the market reside with you. No, it doesn't reside with you. The information about your market reside where? With the customer in the marketplace. It reside with your partners in the marketplace. So you need to leave your building and go to the marketplace for you to be able to get this information. Okay? So that's where people that believe in business planning, miss it because they believe that the information, they go with the attitude that they have the information. And that's why most business plans hardly work for new ventures and startup. Okay? So what is the premise for this customer development process where you develop a customer base even before you launch, your product? It is the premise that the information about your marketplace does not reside with you. It is with your customer outside your business. So you need to go outside your business, to test your value proposition, to test, your business model with, customers and stakeholders, channel partners, and other key partners to establish that you actually have a value proposition and a business model that, fits the needs of your customer. So today we are sharing the first step, customer development process invented by Steve Blank. What is the first step of this process? The first step of this process is customer discovery. What did I call it? Customer discovery. In this process, you need to get out of your building to learn about your customer needs. You need to learn about the job that your customer wants to do, the pains that they are going through doing the job right now, and the gains that they want to create. So you need to find out what the needs of the customer. Like we have said, this information does not reside in your business. This information resides with your customers in the marketplace. So you need to go out and investigate also that what you could offer them, to kill the pains and create the gains. So what is it they want that your value proposition will address? Here is what you want to achieve. You want to get insight, customer insight to understand your customer and be able to come up with a value proposition that accurately addresses the needs of your customer. So let me share with you 6 strategies or approaches you can use to get customer insight. The first one is the first approach is what I call the data detective approach. The data detective approach rely on existing data. You rely on existing data or research done by others or done by you either in previous projects, for you to use that to gain understanding of customer, and you can build based on that. That's what people that rely on business planning majorly rely on. Information from research in the market or whatever, and they build their value proposition based on those information. But that's one way you can gain customer insight. Another way you can gain customer insight is the approach I call the journalist approach. What is the journalist approach? Journalist approach actually involves that you go out there, out of your business to the marketplace to talk to your customer, to understand their needs in the real world. So here is not about past research that has been done. It's about, the real need of the customers in the real world. This is very important. Another approach you can use, I call the Anthropologist Approach. This is also different from the journalist approach where you go and interview or send out questionnaires. And these interviews, you can use technology in any way. You can use a Zoom meeting, for example, to get information about your customer. But what we are trying to establish is that the information resides with your customer. How you get it, is up to you. But the information does not reside with you. You need to go out and discuss with your customer. So the anthropologist approach is not interviewing. Here you are going out to observe, the potential customers in the real world. You want to find out what they are going through. You want to discover why this is very important. Is that it helps you to discover the needs that your customer have that they are not even aware of. So these are what they call the latent need. There are needs that your customer have that they are not aware of. So when you observe, you can find out yourself, and that can be a game changer in your product development. So that's another way that you can use to gain insight into, understanding your customer. Another approach you can use is what I call the impersonator approach. Here, what are you doing? The impersonator approach is that you are going to the market and you are taking the position of your customer, trying to use the product and services so that firsthand you can experience what the customers are going through. You can understand their pains. You can understand, what kind of benefit they want to create so that you can use that, to, develop your value proposition. So that's the impersonator's approach. The next approach is, the co-creator approach. I find this approach very useful because I used it in several projects. In fact, this is what would be my recommendation. What is it about this approach? In your product development process, end to end, you involve the customers. The customers are part of it, they are integrated into your value creation and product development process. And at every point in time, they help you to define the customer need accurately, the job the customer wants to do. So you find out that because they are part of the project, your value proposition captures accurately, all the needs that they have. So that's another approach that you can use. The fifth approach, the sixth approach that you can use is what I call the scientist approach. So what is the scientist approach? In this case, the customers are not involved end to end. But the customers, you just carry an experiment in an aspect of your business, usually low-cost experiment, to test what the customer wants. Oftentimes, the customers are not even aware that this is an experiment. I'm sure sometimes they have seen some offers in the market, where, some product developer put out just to test, the market. Oftentimes, some people, go ahead and order those products, customer order those products without knowing that the people are only carrying out a test. So these are some of the ways, you can gain customer insight. But the first step in our customer development process is customer discovery. And you can use any of these approaches that we have looked at, 6 approaches, to discover and understand your customer. After customer discovery, the next step is the customer validation approach. This is also very important because oftentimes people you call your customers, you don't have, not ready to part with their hard-earned, income or, to be able to buy your product. Now, so you want to establish if there is effective demand. So you run experiment, usually low-cost experiment, to test if your customers value how your product and your services intend to alleviate their pains and create the gains that they want. So what you are trying to establish here is the effective demand. So if this prove right, already you started developing a customer base, okay, that needs your product, okay? So the third approach is customer creation. So when you have evidence, you have established, you have validated that these customers are actually ready to part with their money for your product and services, okay, from your validation effort, what else do? You start building your user base demand, building end users demand. So you start asking them, to actually order for your product. Why? Because, you have established that your product is what they want. They're ready to part for it. Oftentimes, if you do this correctly, you don't even ask them to buy. They are placing orders ahead of your production. So this is where everybody wants to go. This time you begin to drive customers into your sales channels. I assume that at this stage, you've done your business model, you understand your channel, you have established your channel. At this time also, you are using that to test your channel. Okay, so and you begin to scale your business. So we find out that at this point, we begin to create a large customer base who wants your product even before your product enter production. The last and final, step in this customer development process is the company and business building. So one of the things you need to understand is that your product development organization or team is different from your business building or company building team. So the product development is a temporary organization. So at this stage, you are transiting from where? From your product development, which is your temporary organization, okay, to what? To a more permanent organization. Your product development organization is to search and experiment your idea. You are moving from there to a business structure focused on what? Implementing the validated business model. So this is where you want to be. So the first step is what? Customer discovery. The second step is what? Customer validation. The third one is what? Is customer creation. After you have validated that people are ready to pay, for your business. And after that, this is when you now begin to build your company, begin to build your business. You have moved from product development to company development. But at this time, because you have done this process, you have engaged the customer, you have the customer buy-in, you are creating a value proposition that address their identified true need, you find out that you have orders even before you start production. I hope this, you find this useful. If you do, please share it within your network. There are many venture creators who are making these mistakes right now, and we don't want them to make this mistake. But if you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe now so that you'll be one of the first people that will get subsequent videos on topics like this that will release. And I hope to see you next week. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next week. God bless.